Hey traders, Michael or Mini Frost here. You're here for another episode of Common Sense Market Analysis. Today's Hump Day, July 23rd, 2025. You're looking at a daily chart of the SPY or Spiders, which is the proxy for the S&P 500. What do we have on the docket today? Well, after 2 days of deciding to do absolutely nothing, she finally marched up higher. She's up a little bit more than 0.8%, up $5.35. She finally decided to make her march higher. Last night, I gave you guys 3 overhead resistance numbers towards the upside, 632.85 to 635. And then I mentioned that there was an in-betweener number, a midpoint number at 633.50. 635 is magnetic. It's important. It's a big, semi-fat round number. But for the last week or so, I've been pounding the table at 632.85 to 633.50 being an important overhead resistance zone that the market shouldn't just waltz right through, at least from a short-term perspective. Let's take a look at it from a 5-minute chart perspective. She got up into the zone later on in the day, came up short the first time. The high was 632.79, 6 cents away, pulled back a bit, but then later in the day did manage to retest it, hit it pretty much on the dot. The high was 632.89, immediate rejection, but she fought back pretty quickly, made it to the back end of the overhead resistance zone, 633.50, and she did provide you at least the bare minimum base hit. We look for 5 to 7 S&P handles, that's 50 to 70 SPY cents. She spiked the number by just a bit, tried to make her way back down to 632.85 to use it as support, didn't quite make it there, and then she fought back. She was fighting the 633.50 for pretty much the last minute of the day until she decided to rocket it up higher, getting close to 635, big fat round number. Semi-round number. We'll get into that more once we go over inside the numbers, but going back to the daily chart, it really looks like she has no signs of slowing down. With that said, it doesn't mean that there can't be some near pullbacks soon. We have a tinfoil hat event tomorrow, Thursday, July 24th. This is going to be a new moon. This is also the beginning of a new lunar cycle. So with that said, I'm definitely putting on my tinfoil hat. You could believe it if you want, but many times the market likes to trade up or down into these events, and not every time, but most of the time, the market will turn after these events. It's just something to be on the lookout for. We'll put it in our back pockets. It's coming into a semi-big fat round number. 335 to 336 is an important overhead resistance level. It's magnetic. We're a stone's throw away from the number, at least from the front end of overhead resistance. But a few things to keep in mind. Staying above this trend line, which we talked about yesterday, is the bull case scenario. She's above it right now, and all the moving averages. So the trend is your friend, but we have some stuff brewing up that can cause the market to begin at least somewhat of a small retracement. Also, I'm not saying that 635 to 636 is a short, depending what tomorrow brings and how they trade into it, and maybe a possibility, but we are at new all-time highs. I do consider this to be a level of variable risk. It's very, very hard to short the tape at new all-time highs. So as of right now, they're just targets on the board. It's magnetic. They're important numbers. We'll leave it at that. Real quick, just wanted to throw that out there that we had not one, but 2 lazy swing trader profit target alerts today. For those of you who aren't familiar with the lazy swing trader, this is an algo system that my dad created, spent years and years creating the algorithms and the formulas for this to work. It's a 100% fully automated system. You get text and email alerts sent straight to your inbox, whether there's an entry target hit, profit target hit, or stop loss hit. This is a little piece of my dad's legacy that he left behind for us. Until this day, it's still kicking booty. Our first trade was CNI, Canada National Railway Company. We had our first profit target hit a few days ago, but today, the second one hit, locking in a 7.77 angel number risk-free, emotionless trade. At the time I took this image, the percent gain was 7.77. There's no accidents or coincidences. I think that's a sign. And who knows, maybe even a sign for you to try out the Lazy Swing Trader automatical algo system. When it comes to that, I think we can all agree with a funny how that works. Hello again. What about Home Depot? Second profit target hit. This is a little bit of a smaller swing trade on the board, but nevertheless, 4.91%. Second profit target hit today. Members were immediately alerted. This is turning out to be a nice trade. Lazy swing trader, automagical algo system. What about inside the numbers? Do we have traders making money in inside the numbers and the live room? The short answer is yes. Especially if you took the 632.85 or the 633.50, she provided instant reactions off those numbers. Traders certainly made money off of that. I already got a few emails saying that the numbers work. So what do we got? We got an early visit from the thieves in the morning. She came and touched 631.75, which is our morning pivot for the day. But notice how I said she came and touched it, bounced away from it. Doesn't mean she can't do it again. 631.75. How you doing? 631.75 on the board. The high of the first candle of the day, 631.75, nailed it right on the penny. It happened pretty quick, so you had to have orders in. This was the first area of overhead resistance. This was the pivot today. As you could see, she got back above, played around with it later on in the afternoon, came back to retest the pivot. The low right here was 631.79 against 75, so 4 cents away. That just shows that the pivot was important. She knew about this number, no doubt about it. She didn't get to any of our support numbers that we had, so we don't really need to go over that. But like I said early on in the video, I was pounding the table. She'll want to run a test of 632.85 to 633.50, which is an important overhead resistance zone. As you can see, the numbers work. Came up short the first time of the first number, hit it later on in the day, tried to get back down to the pivot, couldn't make it, closed candles above, came to the second number, 633.50, spiked it by a little, by around 15 cents, no big deal, but that did provide you the bare minimum base hit. Base hits put you in the Hall of Fame. Next destination she wants to head to is trying to get towards the big semi-fat round number at 635. What about good old stocks on the move? We had 4 today. One hit a jump target, so we managed to open below all the numbers. ADI never got there, but TXN and ENPH did. Let's go take a look at ENPH first. First number on the board, 38.30. 1 minute chart, fast price action, 38.30 on the board. She made a low of 38.24. Gave you more than $1 on the trade. $1 and some change. Pretty much nailed this one right to the penny. The numbers work. But for TXN, they did not. Just wanted to have some transparency with you. You know, we're not going to win every single trade, which is okay. Life of a trader. I think it's still important to have some level of transparency, obviously. So as you can see, she just blew by all the numbers. She fought the stop loss for a bit. Stop loss was 189.30 on an hourly close. And if we weren't getting above that, then she just wasn't going up the rest of the day. Pause the video, read the notes, and go back to the charts to double check the work. It's all in here. Not to mention, we have a list of 12 different markets with support and resistance numbers. Throw some of these numbers on the charts, see what they give you. I'll give you a quick example. Bitcoin, 16,320 and 123.15. Boom, pretty much nailed. Been an important resistance level and an important support zone creating this range. I think we could give that one the numbers work. The high of this candle is 120,300, $15 away. We don't split hairs over pennies. What about Camp IWM? She's up 0.5%, $3.41. Pretty nice follow through today. What she did was she ran a test of the most recent breakup candle low. The low was 220.66. She spiked it by 5 cents. And what's important to note is she just got above this big time breakdown candle high. Closed slightly above it, but she still closed above it. This is an important area. She showed you it once before. Right here, she was rejected at the vicinity of this big time breakdown candle high. Another important number on the upside is 228.65. Write that down, put it on a sticky note. I've done the mathematics. It's some overhead resistance, at least from an intraday perspective. If she blows right on through, we got something else cooking. What about the folks at the transportation department? Again, some nice follow through. She was teetering around the first line of defense being the 20 period moving average. Doesn't like to be too extended from home base, and as you can see, in this vicinity, we were pretty extended from it. She went back to retest it, couldn't close candles below it, and now we remain above all the moving averages. So with that said, the trend is your friend. Next destination that she wants to get to is trying to take out this high, which falls in line with the big time breakdown candle high coming in at 16,480. She has to get above that if she wants to start running. Whoops, forgot to mention, she's up 1%, 157 bucks. Pretty nice day for the folks at the transportation department. What about the Q people? She's up almost 0.5%. What's interesting is we've had a few days of up, down, today, up, tomorrow, tinfoil hat event, possibly down, continuing the cycle. Only time will tell, but we'll be on the lookout. Just something that we could put in our back pockets. But no real major change for the Q people. She's still above all the moving averages, still making new all-time highs, floating them higher. We've also had an alternating switch between the volume. Lower volume, higher volume, lower volume, higher volume, lower, possibly higher tomorrow. We'll see if she wants to stick with it. What about the financials? They had a pretty decent day too. 0.8%, trying to work on this recent breakdown candle high, which is the all-time high. So that's the next destination that she needs to head to and close candles above it if she wants to continue to make new all-time highs. Again, nothing really to talk about. She's in a bullish position above all the moving averages, approaching and a stone's throw away from the recent all-time high. Going over to a weekly chart, a larger picture perspective, staying above 5220 is the bull case scenario. 5220 to 5250, 60, give or take. It's really this big breakdown candle high. She showed you that that was important, that was big time overhead resistance. And then over right here, she showed you that that also was important. This big green candle stopped right on it. We gapped over it, had a reversal week, went back to touch it again, 52.20, and then we managed to close candles above it on a weekly basis. So staying above this number is the bull case scenario, along with staying above all the moving averages, stone's throw away from new all-time highs. Absolutely nothing wrong with the overall picture. Last but not least, SMH, shaking my head, the semiconductors. She's up 0.4%, a $1.02 faux, and look what she did. She ran another test of the 20-period moving average. But like I always say, it's about how you close them. She closed above it. We remain above all the moving averages. Next important place that she wants to go to is to fill this gap. Gap comes in at 290.50, and then also the high of this breakdown candle, pretty much in the same vicinity. A few days ago, we did have this doji, which is a sign or signal of a trend change. Did have some follow through on that the next day, but she continues to teeter around the 20-period moving average. So we'll just leave it at that and we'll see what tomorrow brings. With that said, that's going to wrap things up for today. Just a little side note, I know that these videos don't get posted around the same time that my dad usually used to post. That's just because I'm still a little bit new at this. Takes me a little bit longer to make these videos and edit them. I do try my best to get you guys these videos on time in an on-time situation, but thank you for your patience. I promise I'll get better with time. And yeah, we'll just leave it at that. That's going to wrap things up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for another episode of Common Sense Market Analysis. I'm Minnie Frost. I hope all of you guys enjoy the rest of your day. We'll be back in uniform, ready to go for tomorrow's session and the video later that night. Thank you guys and take care, folks.